It is Thursday, and that means we are back in nutrition educator Lynn Matava's kitchen. And if you've always wanted to try quinoa but don't know how to incorporate it in your diet, then Lynn has the recipe for you. Let's check it out.
Let's talk about quinoa, shall we? Quinoa is spelled with a Q, Q-U-I-N-O-A, but it's actually pronounced quinoa, and it is a grain that comes from the Andes region of South America. It's been cultivated there for well over 5,000 years, and it's eaten like a grain. I'm sorry, I think I called it a grain. It's actually a seed, but we eat it like a grain. So this uncooked quinoa I have here kind of looks like bird seed, and you may be asking yourself, why would I want to eat this? Well, for starters, quinoa is really delicious, and I'm not a big sweet tooth, but I really love my starches. I love my carbohydrates, and this really makes me feel like I'm eating something that's really, really carb dense. But in fact, it's very high in protein. So a single serving of this has about 8 grams of protein in addition to 5 grams of dietary fiber, which is one of those things that really helps keeps us full, and the combo of the two is wonderful. And it's really, really rare for a plant-based source to have this much protein levels. So this actually has all 9 essential amino acids, which means it's a complete protein. Very cool. So what are we going to do with it? It is such a creative, or such a food that we can do so many creative things with. So unlike rice that you cook up about 1 part grain to 2 parts water, you're actually going to cook this 1 part grain to 3 parts water. So a 1/4 cup dry becomes about 3/4 of a cup finished, and it takes about 10-15 minutes on the stove to cook. It's a great thing to cook to have just as a base to start all kinds of foods or to pack lunches for the week. This one I have today is a tricolor quinoa. You can get it that's just one color, but this has some of the red and a little bit of the black quinoa in there as well. And I've just put my 3/4 cup serving in my bowl here, and then I'm just topping it with a few things. I've got some black beans here, and that really makes this a very protein dense meal. I could put something like edamame. I'm just going to put some cucumbers because that's what I have on hand, and that is what, you know, taking care of ourselves is all about. Sometimes we have to realize that we have to use what we have on hand and not go crazy looking for special ingredients and all sorts of other things. And I've got an avocado. Again, not the prettiest one I've ever had, but this one looked like it got a little bruised at the store before it came home. Maybe it got bruised on its way home. But anyway, so I've just topped this. But what are some other things that you can do with quinoa? It's so versatile. You can throw it a little bit into soups. You could just throw a handful into a salad, and it really pumps up the protein and fiber content of your salad. You can also replace a protein with it. So I've seen people put it in tacos, enchiladas, things like that. You can also make stews with it. You can throw, I think I said throw it into soup, but you can I've seen people make a chili with it. And just last week I was in a restaurant and I was served quinoa burgers. And so they had used a little bit of egg and cheese to bind it together with some other flavorings. And it was pretty tasty on a bun, but it was all plant-based. So I encourage you to get out there and check some out. Let us know what you think.
Now, as a reminder, we do have all of Lynn's tips and tricks on our website. To find them, just log on to 47abc.com and click on the Good Morning Delmarva page.